deeply committed to helping others. Her story is rooted in family and love, and like so many of ours, it is intertwined with cancer. Soon after I met her, I went to see her speak. In the middle of her presentation, she shared a photo from her wedding. A joyful picture of her parents, her in-laws, her and her husband, Zach. Then she said something that I never forget, and it silenced the entire room. Every single person in that photo, all 6, has face cancer. Most people would see that and feel overwhelmed. Francesca looked at it and said, I need to do something. She had seen what cancer asks of families, the exhausting travel, the financial burden, and the toll on caregivers. She experienced it herself while fighting her own stage 4 diagnosis as a young mother. And from her hospital bed, she made a promise. If she survived, she would make the road to care easier for others. And she has kept that promise. Francesca created the Flutter Express. At first, she chartered a 56-passenger bus to take groups of patients and caregivers to New York City and Boston for second opinions, specialized treatments, and clinical trials. But filling enough seats proved challenging. But she refused to let logistics be a barrier to care. So she pivoted to smaller vehicles. That shift made the service more flexible and, just as important, maybe more affordable. By reducing the cost, she also opened the door so many families could qualify for potential insurance reimbursement, removing yet another barrier. Flutter Express is more than a ride, it's a lifeline. Many times, Francesca is personally on board as your host. She's handing out snacks, providing Flutter kits that are filled with essentials, and even letting riders choose the movie for the ride home. Every detail says, I see you and I care. She also launched Flutter Club, a nonprofit that helps cover the cost of rides and expands the support patients receive, so no one has to make the impossible choice between getting treatment and being able to get there. Because of Francesca, people who once felt treatment was out of reach have a path forward. Patients stay in clinical trials, families can get second opinions and specialized treatments. Lives are changed and lives are saved. She has removed barriers that once stood in the way of hope. That is why she is the perfect recipient for our Trailblazer Award. It is an honor given to leaders who do not follow paths, they create them. Francesca, you have created a new path of hope for so many. Please join me in welcoming Francesca Laporto-Brandau with our Trailblazer Award.
Thank you all so much for being here tonight. And thank you to Too Light for this honor. I'm so grateful to be acknowledged as a Trailblazer. When Too Light called and said, we're gonna honor you, it was, you created your own path. We wanna honor you with this award for the Flutter Express and Flutter Club. And I was like, are you sure? I just started this, it's very new. And the phone call came in the spring, and the event, as you know, is in October, and I was like, we're gonna make it. We're gonna do it, we're gonna make it. Because when you start something new, you're not sure if you're gonna be there, if you're gonna last. Is it something that people need? Are they gonna want this? Am I gonna have partners? Are people gonna join me? Is the community gonna join me? Are people gonna support this? What's gonna happen? I had so many questions running through my head. And when I thought about creating the Flutter Express, I'm so proud to stand up here in front of all of you and say, my name is Francesca Laporto Brando. I am the founder of the Flutter Express and president and volunteer of Flutter Express. I hate podiums, they're my kryptonite. I'm so honored to stand here before you and say that, because last year at this time, it was a thought, it was an idea. That's all it was. And I remember at that time talking to other bus companies and saying, hey, do you want to do something like this? It'd be really great if you could create a service like this, because my family's been through a lot with cancer. My son was 4 months old, and I wasn't feeling well, and I went to the doctor and was diagnosed with a sinus infection, went back, was diagnosed with walking pneumonia, and sent for a chest x-ray that same day. And when I was holding my 4-month-old son and taking care of my 5-year-old son, I received a phone call and was told that I needed to get to Albany Medical Center for an emergency CT scan with contrast, and it was life-threatening. And I didn't know what to do, and that was 5 years ago yesterday. That phone call changed my whole life. And I went to Albany Med, I got my CT scan, and was diagnosed with stage 4 non-Hodgkin's primary mediastinal lymphoma. Oops, sorry, there's a hole here. That is kind of what it felt like, actually. It did feel like, that everything crumbled in that moment. Because I was a healthy mom. Lymphoma, what are you talking about? Stage 4? They told my husband that I had a 2% chance of survival because of my presenting symptoms. I was in the hospital for an entire month. And it was one of the hardest months of our lives. And I'm grateful that my husband, who's here tonight, did not leave my side. He was with me the entire time. And I did promise him that if I survived this, and I was determined to survive it, that I would do something to help other people. And here I am. But this journey is not easy. It was not only born from my experience, but my father, a month after my diagnosis, his myeloma relapsed. He had multiple myeloma. And he just kept getting sicker, even as I got better. And during that time, my father-in-law also had multiple myeloma. Recently, my mother-in-law was diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer. And my husband most recently was diagnosed with blood cancer. And my mom's survived breast cancer as well. And those were the people in the picture that Jamie was talking to you about. And so for us, we're so lucky that we have great healthcare here in Albany. But we also sought specialists and trial treatments for some of our family members, and that we had to travel. We had to go to Boston and New York City. And the road to care can be really hard, and in fact, very exhausting. My father had a very hard time with it. And all I kept thinking was, this has to be easier. There's got to be an easier way to get people there. But there really wasn't. And so like I said, I went to a bus company that I happened to know, and I asked them to provide the service, but they do entertainment. And they said, listen, if you feel really passionate about this, we'll let you charter our buses, and you can do this. And there's about 100 million reasons why I shouldn't do it. You don't have direct contact with your customer, and all these business reasons that this could have been a really bad idea. But the one thing that I just could not live with myself, thinking that I had the ability to do this. How could I walk away from it if I had the ability to do this, because it could change someone's life or it could save somebody's life? And I just couldn't live with myself knowing that I held that. And today I know that this is my purpose. This is why I'm here. Not only to be a mother and a wife, but to also help other people reach life-changing and life-saving care. And so, we go to New York City and we go to Boston. We've expanded our service. We started with 2 days a week, and we only went to Sloan Kettering at first. Now, thanks to the use of various vehicles, from a 7 to 8 passenger van, which is our Flutter shuttle, to our 36 passenger buses that are being donated to us by a New York City hospital. A Sprinter van that's about 12 passengers with a wheelchair lift. We are accessible as well. And the 56 passenger coach buses that got us started, we're able to get people to care at every major New York City hospital now. On Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, we go to the Proton Center. Hospitals. And in Boston, we go to Boston Children's, we go to Dana-Farber, and we take people of all ages. It's been quite beautiful, even though it came from a place that was really challenging. We've also built relationships with so many hospitals, locally and afar. We have amazing partners, many of them are here in this room. But we're all working together. I'm so grateful that the community has received what was just an idea. It was a concept that's now real. And I'm so grateful for that. So all the hospitals, the nonprofits, our community, that we're working together to create access to healthcare. We've completely enhanced the patient experience from a healthcare perspective. Because now it's not just, hey, you should get that second opinion at one of these major centers in New York City and Boston. It's, hey, you should get that second opinion, or maybe go for that trial treatment. And by the way, you have a way to get there. And if you can't afford to get there, there's a nonprofit that can remove that financial barrier for you and help you get there. I want to thank 2 Life as being one of those beautiful partners. I've had many 2 Life clients ride with me. Either they need to access the Proton Center, they're getting certain PET scans with it's got like an estrogen tracer in it. I'm not a doctor, okay? That's somebody else's job. I just help people get there. Or they're in trials. And I think together we're ensuring that breast cancer patients and old people who are in need of getting to care can focus on healing instead of worrying about how to get there. That their caregivers can actually care for them on the road to these medical centers. Receiving this award really reminds me that sometimes the path that you're meant to create can begin in a really unexpected place. For me, it started in a hospital bed. A very challenging and uncertain moment. I want to thank my husband. My husband is like my left side of my body. he's with me through this in every way, every step of the way. This was a huge sacrifice for my family. We sacrificed savings, time, energy, but we've gained so much in return. Community, hope, healing. And even as we continue to navigate our own health journeys in life, I'm grateful that we have each other and we're doing something so purposeful and meaningful together in our lives. And I thank you for allowing me to take this risk. thank our board, our two board members are in the room today. But also, thank you for joining that board so we could create Clutter Club. And I'm just gonna leave you with something that I wrote, which is that I believe that when we follow our calling and give from the heart, we create something much bigger than ourselves. And that's what keeps me going, knowing that every mile that we drive is filled with purpose and intention and hope. And I just thank you. Thank you.